Welcome to Module 3 Overview. Topics covered in this module are related to the Group and Family Counseling Knowledge Domain, which encompasses 4.7% of the questions on the CRC exam. The information in this module is organized into two lessons. 1. Family Counseling Theories, Practices, and Interventions, and 2. Group Counseling Theories, Practices, and Interventions. The CRC exam includes two major sections, Rehabilitation and Disability and Counseling. There are no rehabilitation and disability learning objectives for this topic, but there are objectives for counseling. By the completion of this module, you will be able to interpret and apply family counseling theories, implement family counseling practices and interventions, interpret and apply group counseling theories, and implement group counseling practices and interventions. The learning objectives and topics covered were generated based on information provided on the CRCC website. Module 3.1, Family Counseling Theories, Practices, and Interventions. Topics covered in this review include family structure, family counseling theories, and family counseling practices and interventions. Family structure. A rehabilitation counselor's goal for family therapy is to facilitate positive relationships among the family unit, as well as help families learn to become flexible to new and difficult circumstances so they can maintain those positive relationships. A rehabilitation counselor may engage with a variety of different families and family structures. There are 4 well-accepted models of the family structure. 1. The nuclear family. The nuclear family is what mainstream society may consider the traditional family, which includes a father, a mother, and their children living within a single dwelling. 2. Extended family. The extended family is a broader picture of the family unit, including grandmothers, grandfathers, aunts, uncles, and cousins. 3. Single-parent family. The single-parent structure includes one parent providing the caregiving responsibilities to the children in the family unit. The single parent may be unmarried, widowed, or divorced, but not remarried. And 4. Blended family. The blended family occurs when parents who already have children from previous relationships get married or remarried. Family counseling therapies. A rehabilitation counselor may use many different family counseling therapies to support a family as they learn to adjust to the idea that a family member has a disability. A rehabilitation counselor may also help the family learn to engage in caregiving responsibilities. The extent to which a rehabilitation counselor engages with a family is dependent on the needs of the client. There is a level-based model created by Marshak and Seligman in 1993 that describes the different levels of depth that a counselor may engage with the family of a client with a disability. Level 1, the counselor focuses on the individual client. Level 2, the counselor may provide some information to the family at the request of the client. Level 3, the counselor may provide emotional support to the family. Level 4, the counselor provides evaluation and intervention to the family. And Level 5, the counselor engages in family therapy with the family unit. Family systems theory is a broad term that describes that individuals exist as part of an interconnected unit known as a family, and that individuals must be understood in the context of the family unit. It is common for a rehabilitation counselor to engage and support the entire family of a client with a disability in order to fully support the circumstances of the client. Here is a list of some family therapies that might be used as part of family systems theories. Behavioral and cognitive family therapy. This therapy is based on work conducted by Gerald Patterson and Neil Jacobson. In this therapy, the therapist helps the family change clearly observed negative patterns in behavior in order to help the family operate as a whole unit. As a means to facilitate positive behavior, it is common to use behavioral contracts, teach the client positive communication skills, and help the client solve problems. Humanistic and experiential family therapy. This is based on work conducted by Carl Whitaker and Virginia Satir. In this therapy, the therapist creates relevant, complex scenarios and then supports the family as they work through the uncomfortable experience. This therapy may be approached by two therapists, where the therapists help the family engage in productive communication and relationship building. Intergenerational family therapy. Bowen, in 1978, developed a model by which an individual's actions are influenced based on the intergenerational network that exists within a family unit. Bowen's theory was dependent on two ideas. One, differentiation of self, which suggests that individuals who are more independent members of the family are less likely to be influenced by the unit. And two, triangulation, which suggests that three individuals are more likely to maintain a healthy family relationship than two-member units. A rehabilitation counselor can use this therapy by learning about how the family unit functions and help the individuals maintain a healthy level of differentiation of self. Narrative constructivist family therapy. This is based on work conducted by Michael White and David Epstein. Here, individuals are the active agents in making meaning and explaining the world around them. Rather than focusing on the complex interactions and relationships between the family members, narrative constructive family therapy focuses on learning how each individual member attributes to the problems within the family. Psychoanalytic family therapy. Nathan Ackerman developed the psychoanalytic family therapy, in which the premise is that individual members of the family interact with each other in manners that are consistent with their own basic wants and needs. In this therapy, by helping an individual meet their own wants and needs, the entire family will flourish. Active listening and extending empathy are common practices as part of this therapy. Solution-focused family therapy. This therapy is based on work conducted by Steve DeShazer and Insoo Kim Berg. In contrast to focusing on the problems within the family unit, solution-focused family therapy narrows in on the positive solutions to the problems. The underlying theme of this therapy is to help the family brainstorm solution-focused goals. Strategic family therapy. This is based on work conducted by Jay Haley. Using this therapy, the therapist focuses on engaging in solving problems that exist in the family's interactions. All members of the family unit are responsible for engaging in the problem-solving process in order to move toward positive outcomes. And structural family therapy. This is based on work conducted by Salvador Minuchin. This therapy is governed by a related set of principles. 1. There are often undefined or implicit rules that influence the relationships within a family unit. 2. There are subgroups of family members that are distinct from the family unit as a whole. 3. It is important to have boundaries as emotional barriers to enhance the relationships within the family unit. And 4. There is a hierarchy that governs family units. As a means to maintain positive relationship boundaries across the individuals in the family, the therapist may use reframing and family mapping strategies. Family counseling practices and interventions. Approaches to family therapy. Counselors may use several approaches when engaging in family therapy. There are 4 common approaches. 1. Behavioral. B.F. Skinner developed a behavioral approach to family therapy. Here, a therapist addresses issues and conflict among the family by working to change the behaviors observed within the family. 2. Psychodynamic. In this approach, the therapist aids the client's ability to identify insight into their own emotional issues or behaviors. 3. Strategic. Jay Haley developed a strategic approach to family therapy where specific problems or issues are addressed by using a specialized treatment for each circumstance. And 4. Object relations theory. This theory posits that the need for attachment is essential for the development of self and identity. This starts in infancy with the attachment to the parent. Behavior modification. When engaging in family therapy, it is common for a rehabilitation counselor to use specific strategies that reinforce positive behavior of the family unit. Here are definitions for extinction, timeout, and thought-stopping strategies, which are commonly used in family therapy. Extinction is a strategy where the individual with an offending behavior is removed from the group in order to remove the reinforcement the group provides to the offending behavior. Timeout is an extinction strategy often used on young children and called a timeout. Thought stopping is a strategy that individuals can use to will away negative or unwanted thoughts with the goal of helping change a behavior. Paradoxical approaches, there are 4 of these. Restraining is an intervention focused on helping the client realize the consequence of poor behavior. As an example, a therapist might say, "Jill, quitting your drinking habit may put several liquor stores out of business, so you better not quit cold turkey." Positioning. A positioning intervention focuses on classifying an unwanted behavior in an exaggerated negative manner. As an example, a therapist might say, "Brad, I don't think your drug habit is causing enough strain on your marriage, so maybe you need to take it even further." Prescribing the symptom. This technique focuses on helping the client recognize the bizarre nature of the unwanted behavior in a manner that makes it clear that the behavior is unnecessary. As an example, a therapist might ask a client who is severely afraid of failure to try failing at a common everyday activity to see that it's possible to come back from failure. And relabeling. This is a technique that refocuses the unwanted behavior in a positive manner to help the client recognize that the behavior is in fact ridiculous. As an example, a therapist might say, "Lakeisha, yelling at the other drivers in road rage is the perfect way to meet new people." Module 3.2, Group Counseling Theories, Practices, and Interventions. Topics covered in this review include structure for group therapy, group counseling theories, and group counseling practices and interventions. Structure for group therapy. Group therapy is an opportunity for individuals who are experiencing common challenges to meet and work through those challenges together. Group therapy differs from family therapy in the sense that the individual members of the group may not necessarily know each other or be related. There are several ways that groups can be structured to facilitate a positive group dynamic and environment. 2 types of groups. 1. Closed groups. A closed group is composed of a specific and predetermined number of individuals. A closed group won't invite new participants to the group, which can help create a congruous group dynamic. Individuals in the group are able to continuously build relationships and social rules that won't unexpectedly change when a new member of the group is included. 2. Open groups. An open group does not limit the number of participants, which means individuals may come and go throughout the duration of the group's active life. This has the disadvantage of introducing new group dynamics as new members enter. The new member has also missed previous conversations, which can make it difficult for them to catch up. Group norms. Each group will create common beliefs and behaviors as defined by the characteristics and interactions of the individuals in the group. As groups become more congruous, they may start to exhibit common behaviors that dictate the interactions between the group member, which are considered the group norms. Ground rules. A therapist may choose to set ground rules at the beginning of the active life of the group or introduce additional rules as necessary. As an example, the therapist may tell the individual members of the group that they are not allowed to share information about individual group members outside of the group sessions. Group members may also be asked to contribute to the creation of ground rules. Group seating. If group seating is determined by the individuals in the group, it is common for individuals with similar backgrounds and characteristics to sit near each other. The therapist may choose members of the group because of their similarities or differences. Group size. Groups with adult clients often have between 5 to 15 patients, with 8 being an optimal number of group members. Groups with children are usually smaller. Group time length. Groups with adult clients should meet for 1.5 to 2 hours, but groups with more intensive treatment plans may meet longer. Groups with children should meet for shorter periods of time. Types of group. Counseling groups are groups that provide treatment for unwanted thoughts, emotions, or behaviors that are easily apparent to the client. Guidance groups are groups that provide educational information to a number of people at the same time. The topics discussed in these groups may be decided by the group members or the counselor in advance. Psychotherapy groups are groups that provide treatment for issues that are profoundly deep-seated. A highly trained and qualified therapist is needed to lead this group. Group counseling models and theories. Group therapy can provide a unique challenge because each member of the group brings their own unique qualities to the therapy session. which can influence the group dynamic as a whole. Below is a list of models and theories often used by rehabilitation counselors when dealing with group therapy sessions. Adler's and Droiker's group theory. Peers' opinions and judgment can be influential for helping an individual change undesirable thoughts, emotions, or behaviors. In this theory, Adler and Droikers explained that group therapy can help change a client's behavior when the client recognizes how other members of the group respond to the unwanted belief or behavior. Peer pressure and societal influence may help the individual align their personal beliefs and behaviors based on what is more commonly accepted among the group. Adler's paradoxical therapy. A paradoxical statement is made to have some basis in reality, but seems contradictory or bizarre in nature. As part of this therapy, the therapist asks the individual to act out the unwanted situation in an exaggerated or contradictory manner. As an example, if a client becomes very anxious prior to performing a specific task at work, the therapist may ask them to act out the circumstances in the controlled therapy environment while exaggerating the symptoms of anxiety more than the individual actually experiences in the real world. Narrative therapy and postmodernism. Michael White, Cheryl White, and David Epstein helped develop and publicize narrative theory in the 1970s and 80s. This therapy helps the client become an expert of their own issues or behaviors by helping them create the narrative or story focused on their lived experience. By doing this, the therapist is helping the client externalize their issues and separate their unwanted thoughts, emotions, or behaviors from their own lives. Structured and unstructured therapy groups. Irvin Yalom describes that while clients often prefer structured groups and exercises, the unstructured and often spontaneous experiences are more effective. Yalom believes that structured groups and therapies, 1, are more likely to focus too heavily on the leader in the group and less on the client's own understandings and feelings, and 2, cause important stages of the group dynamic to be skipped, and 3, force individuals to confront issues before they are ready to do so. Yalom describes 4 stages of progression within group therapy. 1, orientation. The therapist creates the group, identifies rules for the group, and discusses the goals of therapy with the clients. 2, conflict. Prior to the group becoming a cohesive unit, each individual may focus on the individualisms between themselves and the other members of the group. 3, cohesion. A common identity allows the group to form a cohesive unit. And 4, termination. The group meets its goals. Reflecting treatment therapy. Tom Anderson is the founder of Reflecting Treatment Therapy. In this therapy, the therapist tries to remove any feelings of hierarchy between the therapist and client. This might mean asking the client to participate in directing their own treatment plan, which enforces a collaborative approach between therapist and client. Respectful counseling model. The respectful model focuses on understanding an individual's experiences in order to identify a treatment plan for that individual. This model believes that an individual's attributes will highly influence their probability of having a positive outcome. Respectful refers to the attributes of the individual that may influence treatment. R, religion. E, economic background. S, sexual identity. P, psychological maturity. E, ethnicity. C, developmental challenges. T for trauma. F for family history. U for unique circumstances, and L for language. Group counseling practices and interventions. Group therapy provides several advantages and disadvantages relative to individual therapy. As an example, clients have the opportunity to improve their social and communication skills while also building their network of support. Members of the group can offer each other resources, emotional support, and a sympathetic ear to listen to shared issues. A qualified and experienced group therapist is key to creating a positive group dynamic because guiding a collective group conversation can be more complex than an individual one. There are 3 commonly accepted styles of group therapy leadership. 1, authoritarian. A therapist who exhibits more forceful tendencies in their interactions with group members is considered an authoritarian leader. Here, they may dictate conversation and group experiences without much input from the members of the group. 2, democratic. The democratic leadership style is the optimal style for most groups and circumstances. In this style, the therapist works collaboratively with the group to help solve problems and set goals, but still provides facilitation to direct the group towards positive outcomes. 3. Laissez-faire. A therapist who leads in a laissez-faire style will let the group choose its own conversations, rules, and structure. In this style, the group essentially runs itself without much input from the leader. Another option for group therapy is to have a co-leader structure. This option is often used when the group is not moving forward in a productive manner with a single leader, so a second leader is brought in to help influence the dynamics and interactions among the group members. Co-leading may also be used as a training tool for novice counselors when paired with an experienced counselor. Also, groups with mixed genders may benefit from both a male and female group leader. It is imperative that both group leaders have an open line of communication and work together closely to create a treatment plan for the group. Identifying group members. The Association for Specialists in Group Work encourages therapists to conduct pre-screening interviews with each potential member of a group therapy group. During the pre-screening interview, the therapist should inform the potential member of the goals, structure, and relevant ground rules associated with the group. This helps ensure that the potential member will feel supported and be able to provide support to other group members. Considering disabilities. In a rehabilitation counseling group therapy session, the therapist needs to be considerate of how disabilities may influence the group dynamics. As a few examples, 1. Groups with members who have cognitive limitations may require more structured group exercises and more instructions. 2. Group members with attention or behavioral issues may need group sessions that are shorter but conducted more frequently. Or 3. Group members with chronic pain may need flexible seating options to help members engage comfortably. Creative and evidence-based solutions may be necessary depending on the specialized needs of the individual group members. Roles assumed by group members. When clients engage in a group therapy environment, it is common for individuals to take on specific roles. The energizer is an individual who inspires or boosts the enthusiasm of the group with positive affirmations. The follower is an individual who aligns their thoughts and beliefs with those among the group. The gatekeeper is an individual who seeks to help all members of the group participate and may enforce rules within the group. The interrogator is an individual who may ask awkward, personal, or off-topic questions. And the scapegoat is an individual who is criticized for the issues or confrontations that can often emanate among the group. Stages of the group counseling process. The process in which a group progresses or evolves throughout the active life of the group is called the group process. Corey et al. Describes 4 stages of the group process. The initial stage is the first phase of the group process, where individual members meet each other and begin to learn about the group dynamics. In this stage, the therapist or group may introduce ground rules, explore goals, or create social norms for interactions among the group members. In the transition stage, the therapist helps the group confront any barriers that may interfere with an effective group dynamic or treatment plan. In this stage, the members of the group may need to explicitly describe their needs and emotions to other members. The working stage is a phase where productive work and treatment begins to occur among the group members. In this stage, group members are building positive relationships and dynamics that allow them to focus on their goals and support open, positive communication with each other. The final stage is when each member of the group expresses how the group has influenced their thoughts, emotions, and behaviors as part of this treatment process. In this stage, the group members work towards bringing their positive growth to their lives outside of the group environment. The initial, transition, working, and final stages are very similar to the group process stages described by Yalom. Cognitive, affective, and behavioral group approaches. Cognitive group therapy focuses on helping the client create a positive perception of their own beliefs about themselves. This approach focuses on helping the client separate the real circumstance from any unrealistic beliefs they have identified about themselves or their sense of worth. A therapist or group members may help each member of the group identify their perceptions and tackle those perceptions head-on. Affective group therapy focuses on helping each member of the group feel they fit within a positive, cohesive group unit. This can be done by helping the members deal with their emotional concerns and creating a supportive group environment where the group can work together to confront these issues. Behavioral group therapy focuses on helping the members of the group build positive interactions with each other. These skills will facilitate a supportive group therapy environment and help the client build communication skills necessary for greater societal interactions.